Hoka hey, Alita Army. Welcome to the Alita Livestream, where we talk about all things Alita. Today we're going to talk about why we love Alita so much. And I am Muskogee Creek, your host, and my co-host there is Angelus. How's it going, Angelus?
Fantastic.
Cool. So anyway, I guess anything new to report there, Angelus, or should we just go ahead and get into it?
Nothing that I know of, no.
Yeah, I know we got a poll going on right now, but we're way ahead, I think. So anyway, I guess we'll talk about that tomorrow at the, at the Radio Chaos stream. Yeah.
Yeah. Another James Cameron versus James Cameron.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Fun. Anyway, why do we love Alita so much? And we're going to actually hit all three of them. We don't care if it's the manga Alita, movie Alita, or OVA Alita. We love them all equally, or at least pretty close to equally. And you can see they all look pretty much the same, really. And I'm not going to go into this too much right here because we beat this one up pretty good, on several streams. But and certainly this is not going to be just limited to Alita's physical ability either, our discussion tonight. But we know Alita is really strong. She's really durable. She's super fast, particularly in her Imaginos body. And she's over 300 years old. And that Imaginos body, and the Berserker body for that matter, will self-modify itself to her subconscious. Certainly has that plasma weapon. Really great melee fighter with using Panzerkunst. And she is definitely a TR cyborg. Anything to add to that, Angelus? I think that pretty much sums it up, doesn't it?
I sent you the updated list, didn't
Oh,
you?
yeah, we're going to get to that.
All right.
Okay. Let's see why Angelus, what he sees so much in Alita. You want to speak to this, Angelus?
Oh, I think that one's pretty straightforward. I mean, it's something that she's always had from Doll Body all the way to Imaginos 2.1.
Yeah, something like that.
And beyond.
Yep.
And then even as she's losing limbs left, right, and center, she's still kicking ass and looking good doing it.
Exactly.
Fact,
and there was one point where she even had a peg leg, didn't she? And she still looked good.
Well, even Doc Ito saw something that even Doc Ito saw something in her when he discovered her in the scrapyard. So,
what about that fighting skill there, Angelus?
Fighting skills, especially between warriors. The only person that sort of ignored it was really Japan. But
he paid
whether it be Jashigan, Figure 4, I mean, even Nova respected her ability, both movie, manga. Are
you there, Angelus?
Sorry, background noise.
Okay.
So yeah, like I said, pretty much all of her opponents, if they didn't respect her ability, then one misstep and they're out the door.
Yeah, she kind of had that empathy in her, even when she was fighting a very dangerous opponent, to kind of see things from their point of view, didn't she? I mean, she kind of respected them, I think, in many cases, if they were worthy of her respect, obviously. That was one of the other things I did like about her, too, because she wasn't just all about, she was pretty much, or almost all about, killing, but she did seem to be able to, see see things through her opponent's eyes, I think, sometimes.
How far into Mars Chronicles have you gotten?
I've read the first two, I think, maybe three. No, I think it's two. No, I've read three. I've read the first three volumes.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's the second one, maybe the third. But when she gets reintroduced to Erica, they had that little skirmish.
Yeah, that was the second one. Yeah.
She almost made that mistake in the sense that, you know, she forgot that she's used to fighting without limbs and so forth, and as a result, you know, she thought that she was superior and didn't like respect the fact that Alita used to be one of her, and almost paid the price for it if a certain event didn't happen a few minutes after.
Yeah.
As for the third one, she you know, whether it be Nova, whether it be her the counselors, again, I'd be spoiling if I went into that a little bit too much, or, you know, whatever, or whoever, Japan, Jashigan, she fight for what she chooses to believe in. No one can force her to sort of come over to their way. Definitely not Nova, that's for sure. And that's a perfect example. But like, she chooses to believe what she believes, whether it's the right or wrong thing, and she'll face the consequences for it. And that she can't be indoctrinated is that you can't force a hand. Sure, she might. There's just a moment in the manga, especially where involving Figure 4, where she didn't keep a promise. So, you know, we say that she's honorable and loyal, but you know, there'll be ones where fate sort of forces her hand to go against that.
Yes, that's right.
That doesn't mean that she doesn't believe in it. So that's what I meant by she can't be indoctrinated.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons she said, one of the things she said at that point, which I don't want to spoil the manga either, but she said that one promise was the one, you know, it was the most important one, but that she couldn't keep it. That shows how much, I mean, how important it was to her, you know, so in the manga itself. So, you know, there was that one point where she, I guess at the beginning of Last Order, you know, when she woke up again, and I guess she was in that tuned body at that point. And, you know, I guess they gave her the option of working for them, or that would be the end of it, you know, so, and she picked that, but that was still wasn't an indoctrination, was it?
No, not really, because at that stage, she was, without coming across as making excuses for her, she, again, it was her choice. That's the key word here. She chose to, you know, it's like, well, fuck, if I can't beat him, join him, or a very pseudo sort of context leading to that.
Yeah, it was also that they wanted to go get Nova too, didn't they? Or it was something like that, I seem to remember.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Nova ended up being one of the targets.
Yep.
Not to kill, but to at least capture or track down, and then other things happened that sort of interfered with that. But it was like she became a government employee for a government that she chose to flip the finger to previously. So
yeah, that's right.
Or worst case scenario, a government that she didn't vote for.
Yeah, there
you
you go.
could really vote in that that world.
Yeah. That's funny. You mentioned that. I never thought of it. She was like a civil service employee, wasn't she? Government employee. Although in her case, it'd be more than just like sitting behind a desk, but yeah, because she was an agent, so.
Almost very Jason Bourne-esque
Yeah.
in certain aspects of it.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
she also lost her memory. She also was, well, an assassin.
Yeah.
And yeah, never really made that connection until now.
Yeah.
Now this one, like as you can see in the parentheses, I kept on adding like
Yeah.
sub qualities.
Yeah.
And again, I'll quickly go over it. It has human qualities that most other humans wish they could cultivate.
Yeah.
What I meant by that is that, you know, everyone's capable of being like a leader, but what holds you back? For me, I'll confess that I'm a bit of a bit of a lazy bum, to say the least. You know, maybe for some it could be money, job, family. Not that having any of those things is bad, but you know, you responsibilities in general, I should say, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so sub qualities, discipline. Now, there's a good example. And in fact, I might even use Muskogee Creek here as an example. He is old, and yet he's still a competitive powerlifter at that age, and that requires discipline, to say the least. With your training, with your meals, I'd imagine, and
Yeah.
so forth. So there's a discipline, perseverance. You know, life sucks, especially when you're a hunter warrior of the leader army and you're fighting for a sequel. But you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
until they say, until Cameron himself says, "Sorry guys, but I'm not going to let Disney fuck this up," and I didn't like what they were giving me, so it won't be an elite. Until he says that, or until he says yes, then you know you'll keep on fighting, and sometimes it's hard to do that. Confidence. Well, confidence in something like what I just said. It's hard to keep the faith sometimes. In saying that, you know, sometimes, like for me anyway, as an example, I like to play some of my favorite music to sort of lift me up. There's an old saying that the music soothes a savage beast, and I take that a step further to sort of uh, steer the emotional ship, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Funnily enough, one of the songs being Bon Jovi's "Keep the Faith" whenever
Yeah.
things don't go our way. Uh, love, you know, she knows how to pick 'em, but uh, her first love with Hugo is an example. You know, he was a dick and didn't realize what he had in front of him until it was too late, and he paid the price for it. Uh, and then there was that really weird relationship she had with Chaos, and then
Yeah.
there's Figure Four, and um, yeah, like another example is I don't think it was love, but sort of love for the ideals that she's fighting for, especially when she has her, how should I call it, epiphany in the Zot tournament when she comes back. Um, so yeah, that's like and like, you know, anyone can say, yeah, well, you know, I love my friends, I love my family, but do we show those same qualities to our enemies even?
Yeah.
Or maybe not to that extent, but again, going back to the segueing a little bit back into the first or second one there, at least you can respect your enemy for what they're capable of.
Yep.
Honor, that's a pretty tough one. Let's face it, we all sometimes have double standards in some shape or form, even if it's on a very small scale. I'll confess to that myself. Ironically enough, it wasn't until I became an Alita fan that I started, well, you know what? Alita is still my number one choice, but it's not the only choice on the list of like favorite movies, for example, or
Sure.
manga, stuff like that. She is loyal.
Loyal to a fault, isn't she? Almost.
Exactly. Again, segueing back to the third one, fighting for what she chooses to believe in. It might end up being the wrong thing to believe in, at least to the general scope of society. But she won't shy away from saying, well, it might be the wrong thing, but I still believe in it. Or maybe she sees the good in something, like the way I interpreted it when I first read the manga, like she sees Zarlam. She used to, you say the word and she'd probably go, I hate that thing. Then when she gets up there,
Yeah.
well, read the manga and find out.
Yeah, that's right.
And that list can could pretty much continue to grow and grow and grow. But the last one, imperfection, including within the aforementioned qualities, like all those things, love, honor, loyalty. She might find out that she might have been backing the wrong party, but that won't change the fact, and she won't shy away from that fact that she still loved the criminal Hugo. She still had feelings for Chaos. She still loved Figure 4 enough that she did what she did to try and keep as much of her promise as she could.
Yeah. Going back to that discipline thing, when you were mentioning about my powerlifting and anything, the one thing that came to mind was the fact that, I don't, and I think this is for her too. For me, yeah, it is discipline. I do lift. I do train every day, or not every day, but I train. I have to take days off. You don't, you injure yourself. But I think for me, what makes that discipline work is that I love doing it. I just liked. It's kind of like with her. I think she's like what you would call the happy warrior. I mean, she really gets into it, and it to the point to where if any of you, probably everybody on looking at this stream has read the manga, but it's almost like there's blinders and she sees nothing else, at that point. So it's a real focus, So I think that speaks highly for her too, that she can do that. Before we go much further, I want to welcome Max Tack Jirai. How's it going, Max Tack?
Morning, boys.
Morning, Maxie.
So what's happening, Maxie?
Complete reversal of this time last week, where it was pissing down so hard that I thought that God had, lost his bladder control. But now it's beautiful and sunny and autumn weather and
nice. Yeah, and daylight saving time didn't mess us up this time.
Hooray!
Yeah, I finally got that right. So anyway, by the way, before we get further, let Angelus do his last quality there. Did you see the news that I guess Melissa McCarthy was bitten by a huntsman spider? Did you see that?
I don't know what she did to piss it off.
Exactly.
Most people get bitten because they attack things that they're scared of, which is a bit stupid. It's like, well, you're scared of the thing, don't go near it. It's pretty easy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I guess, well, all spiders are venomous. Some are poisonous, obviously, So
Yeah.
the huntsman spider, I think, is in that former category, right? It's venomous, but I guess you'd have to be allergic to it for it to kill you, I guess. But
Well,
with
they
most
don't.
of those spiders, I'm fairly certain that either A, the venomous isn't potent enough, or B, they can't simply just inject enough
Yeah.
venom to fuck
Yeah.
you up, or screw you up.
Yeah, the
Well,
one thing about
some of them,
spiders. Oh, go
some
ahead.
of them don't have strong enough or long enough fangs to get through your skin.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
That's the other one, yeah.
Yeah, I seem to have a knack for being bitten by spiders. Of course, when they do, they only bite. That's the last person they bite when they do. But I do seem to get bit by them a lot. So, luckily I haven't been bitten by anything like a brown recluse or a black widow. I haven't been bitten by one of those, but but I just thought of it right then because Maxie, you remember you had that tweet, about all the guy had that video on there about all those spiders, that
on
was
his
on
back fence, yeah.
on his back fence because of the flooding, and I went, holy crap. I mean, I tried to look hard. I couldn't see any of them. It looked like a funnel web spider, but you could bet there was probably one or two of them in that bunch.
Well, a lot of them were brown, so I'm thinking that they were house spiders, like
Yeah.
quite large because we grow everything large down here. But yeah, there was a few black ones in there, and the other spiders were keeping away from them, so they would have been huntsmen's.
Yeah, I did notice a couple of them.
Sorry, not the huntsmen's, the trapdoor spiders. Yeah.
Yeah, like one of them, I know two or three of them there. They looked like there was a vacant space around them. All the other spiders were keeping their distance.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I don't know why I thought of that. I think that's because of those tweets that you had, about that guy's, about his backyard. Okay, moving right along there, Angelus. Yeah, not being a Mary Sue.
Yeah, she doesn't. It sort of again segues back into the third one where she fights for what she chooses to believe in. She doesn't if she likes doing. There's no other way to beat around the bush with this one. If she likes doing feminine things, then she's gonna fucking do it and say whatever you want about that at your own peril.
Yeah.
But it's like she's not a feminist, but she's not a misogynist or misandrist and all that other BS.
Yeah.
She does what she does because, again, she chooses to like that sort of thing. She chooses to do it because it's her choice. And again, there are qualities that, we wish that we could be more like, that we wish we could cultivate.
Yeah, exactly.
And even when she gets her Imaginos body, she still retains essentially all of these qualities, especially the uwu. So.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the one thing about her too is she's not a wallflower, is she? I mean, she's not a fraidy cat. I mean, if something offends her, not offends her, but if it's like got a threatening thing about it, she's going for it, isn't she? She's not going to mess around with it. She's going to attack, So that's one of the good quality in her too, isn't it?
It's all or nothing with me.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. That very well put. Yeah, it's all or nothing with her. That's exactly right.
With Maxie might be able to expand more on this one, but what's her thing with butterflies though? And where did it come from?
Yeah.
Like I remember the panel, but I can't remember.
That is a trivia question. God damn.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. I better mention it then.
No, I'm trying to remember the answer. I do know that that's right. Yeah, it's personal phobia of Kashiro's.
Yeah.
So he gave it to Alita. Yep. He cannot stand a death's head butterfly. freaks him out.
Yeah, she
Because of the
shot
eyes
up
on the
that whole
wings.
wall, didn't she? You know, and after
And wasted
being
all
a
her
clip,
remaining
you know,
ammunition. Yeah.
that figure four says, "What the hell was that?" Oh, boy, that was funny. That was a funny panel, I think.
Mm.
Took a moment for me to access those synapses that have got that information stored in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but aside from that one minor aspect, I mean, we can still definitely call her not Mary Sue.
Absolutely not.
Right. Sorry. Just having breakfast at the same time.
Oh, that's okay.
Well, you could wax lyrical about Mary Sue's, but basically, the thing that one of the things that makes Alita so likable is that she has flaws. People don't like people who are flawless. It just pisses you off.
Yeah.
And you can't really like it. Like Ray isn't a bad person, like Star Wars Ray.
Yeah.
Myself, but
Well, I'd say you're not
you
a
look
bad
at the
person
you look at the
either.
character and you go, I could like this character except she can do no like she can't do anything wrong. Like she's just got it all. And people who are like that really annoy. Like they rub you the wrong way because they're just, oh, I can do everything. I had no flaws. And it's pretty simple, really. You know, people like that just don't resonate because they just can't do anything wrong. They just have a solution for everything. They don't struggle.
Yeah, that kind of makes her human, doesn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, she's yeah, for sure. I mean, she definitely, you know, that is one of the things I like about her too. You know, that you know she does have that. She's like us in a lot of ways. I mean, yeah, you know, she is superhuman physically, you know, but as a person, you know, yeah, she definitely makes mistakes, you know, and stuff like that. Matter of fact, I remember on Den's stream one night we were talking about, and I don't think this was the panel he was talking about wasn't part of the canon. It was one of those extra stories, you know.
Where's Dan?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, hashtag where's Dan? Exactly right. So anyway, but it was one where that deck man, you know, had escaped, you know, the factory and had gone out into the, you know, got away from from Iron City, and he was out playing with the kids, and Alita shot him, you know, and that right there, that was kind of an evil thing, you know. But now that wasn't part of the regular manga. That was, you know, one of those extra stories, I guess. But
I remember that too, reading that the manga, the extra story that they have at the end.
Yeah, exactly. So what about Rose?
This next one, very movie specific, but from what I can understand and remember, there were others that went for the role, but when Rosa came in, it was like they were blown away by her acting presence in the room.
Yeah.
And Rodriguez had to well, fuck, I've got to see it on film because, you know, in his experience, if it doesn't translate to film, then what's the point?
Yeah.
And it's like he was like playing spot the difference because there was none. What was seen in person, what was seen on film, and you know, literally no one else. And that's where the whole the article on what made Rodriguez and James Cameron and pretty much everyone else that was there, you know, shed a tear or two or 20.
Yeah. She made Rodriguez cry, didn't she?
Yeah. And we see a lot of Rosa in her performance of Alita. And, you know, vice versa, she still manages to pull off the various roles that she does, whether it be Undone, Chips, Bird Box, anything and everything. But we look at her in all these different roles, playing all these different characters, and I still find myself thinking, you know, I never seen anyone else I can't imagine anyone else playing Alita other than her.
Yeah.
Certainly, you can do some photo edits to change images as we've done in the past, and there's a couple that have come close, especially with the likes of Cara Delevingne and some of those other actors, actresses, and models.
Yeah. Yeah, she
Like,
is she's very versatile, isn't she? I mean, that's one thing I like about her too, or not just one thing, but one of the things I do like about her, she's versatile. I remember seeing her in that movie Divergent. I think it's Divergent, and she was one of the soldiers in that one. So, and I went, whoa, I saw that, I saw a little snippet of it after I'd seen Alita, whoa, pretty cool. And I think she was in Maze Runner, wasn't she, in the Scorch Trials or something like that? I think.
yeah, I still want to sort of track down and see all her other work, especially Undone.
Oh
since like it's like the one that like people are raving on about, and what looks to be for good reason as well.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I only say that in that way because I haven't seen it to make my own judgment. So.
yeah, yeah. She, in my opinion, she's a very accomplished actress, man. She is just great. And I think you guys have all heard me say this before. If they did recast Alita, and it wasn't Rosa, I mean, yeah, I'd probably still watch it, but I would not be a happy camper, boy. I'd be upset about that one, I think, So
At the very, we might still even end up loving it, but like we'd still be comparing it to Rosa,
yeah,
and there's
exactly.
no escaping that comparison.
Yeah, exactly.
Like when you make a role your own, like Rosa did with Alita, then you'll always be compared
Yeah.
with the OG.
She set a benchmark.
Yes, 100%.
But what was that, Maxie? I didn't catch it.
She set a benchmark. It's going to be a very difficult benchmark to beat.
Oh gosh, and like they say sometimes too, it's going to be some tough act to follow, or big shoes to fill, or whatever you want to call it. I mean, yeah, if they did recast it and a new person, boy, they'd be up against it, I think. But they're not going to. They're not going to. We're going to make sure Rosa gets it.
Let's take the like a CGI animated series, for example. If they ever go that route,
yeah,
they could use someone else's. If they reuse the technology, they could use someone else's mocap performance, and it'd be their performance. There wouldn't be the nuances that Rosa brings to the table, and as fans, we'd literally, pick up on that shit like instantly.
Yeah, we would. Yep, we sure would.
And of course, the last one is my little salute to the Alita army. I mean, and it really did exactly that. I mean, yeah, sure, we can say that, well, if people didn't hate on the movie so much, we wouldn't be here. And that's also sort of true as well. But, it's a combination of all the other qualities and the fact that it still did as well as it did, despite the uphill battle. And people still hated it on it. And even then, more and more casual fans started discovering it. We've even picked up one or two Hunter Warriors along the way, whether it be myself or some more recent additions. And yeah, it brought fans worldwide together under one common cause, which is the Alita banner, the Alita sequel.
Yep.
And that's like literally not many. Like when you think of other IPs that have that level of fandom, like you're talking about the juggernauts such as Star Wars, Star Trek, Marvel, DC, and all of that. and here we are, like a new addition to the table, this tiny little total replacement cyborg amongst it, amongst giants of the thing, and like she's going toe to toe them, and it reminds me of that meme that I created where, I tried to make it a meme of a meme where, like where Loki says, "I have an army," and then
Yeah.
RDJ comes in and says, "We have a Hulk," and
Yeah.
then the third one would be whatever fandom is like, "We have this fandom," and for me, it's like I just cut the middleman and go straight from we have an army of Loki fans, and then you've got the leader saying that's cute.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Exactly.
so, yeah,
Yeah.
and but yeah, so that last one is definitely a salute to all the fans.
Cool. Yeah, it is.
And I'm sure that, given time, we could continue to add, or I'd probably be able to continue to add to this list. But, even within less than 24 hours, it's like if I had to list as many reasons of why I love Alita, that'd pretty much be it.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, that's pretty cool, Angelus. Seriously, as a matter of fact, I think your list is going to be is a lot more comprehensive than mine and deeper. But before we get to mine, I want to ask Maxie. Maxie, what is it about Alita? Why do you love Alita so much yourself? What are some of the qualities that make you, glued to her, as they would say, or in love with her, or whatever, as a character?
And I want to reiterate that that even if it's already been mentioned, mention it anyway, because it just means that they're both right, because so many people like that part of quality of Alita.
Yeah.
Then it's definitely something that we all love about Alita. But sorry, continue.
No, that's okay.
Yeah. So there's if you've ever gone to a restaurant or a friend's house or something, and you've been introduced to a dish that you've never tasted before, but there's just something about it, the texture and the flavor and the temperature and all the things that your senses can take in. It just seems like they've all come together, and it tastes wonderful. And I'd have to say that the character of Alita is like that amazing meal that you stumble upon one day and go, "Oh wow, this is my new favorite meal," because it just works for me. And I'd have to say that the character of Alita, she's not perfect, but she's perfect for the fans, because she's perfect in her imperfection. She's got the qualities that you strive for and you may never reach. She's got the flaws that you can understand and make sense to you. And she struggles, she perseveres, she doesn't give up. Fuck off with your pineapple pizza, Dizzy. Jesus Christ.
I knew that'd get you, Maxie.
I was tempted to say something about pineapple pizza when Angelus was talking before, but I kept my mouth shut. But Dizzy can't. Sucker. Can't trust these Taswegians. But anyway, so Alita just, talks to your soul, and the reflection in your soul of the character just works. It's the combination of the sci-fi and the cybernetics and the character and the world and the antagonists and it just really works. I mean, it's not prescriptive. It's not. I mean, I'll give you a comparison. I just watched the Suicide Squad as compared to Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
The new trailer that's just dropped, and I watched it and I went, somebody went and got the script for Guardians of the Galaxy and changed it up a bit and put them in different clothes and made them swear a bit more and a bit more violent, and there's the Gunn's new movie, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, this guy's a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
He can't do anything different. there's nothing surprising. It's all just dick jokes and stupid stuff that Dizzy would probably like. So he'll probably go see it. But I think I'll pass.
Yeah.
It just doesn't have an authenticity. It's just all done for cheap laughs.
Well, they have money,
and
they probably
yeah.
think, yeah.
But they're trundling out the same bullshit. And
Yeah.
I mean, I've read other mangas before I read Kishiro's work, but I mean, they were cool, you know, like Ghost in the Shell and Appleseed and things like that. They were cool, and they had some interesting stuff in them, but it didn't all just come together like Kishiro's work.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was translated to the screen so authentically. They had the right actor, they had the right supporting actors, they had the right CGI at the right time and it all went right.
Yeah.
I don't think it could have gone that right earlier than it did.
Yeah,
So,
your point about Ghost in the Shells is right on, because you know I saw Ghost in the Shell. I've only seen it once, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was okay, you know. But you're right. It just doesn't grab at you like Alita does it? I mean, it doesn't. It doesn't kind of stick in your soul, like Alita does. At least that's the way it is for me,
Yep, I get that.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else, Maxie? Or
well, I mean, Angelus covered a lot of stuff already, which I don't have any disagreements with. So I don't have to go up. It's not like Pineapple. It's not the Pineapple Wars. We're in agreement on this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Way to go, Diz. All right, let's talk about Muskogee Creek. Let's see what he likes. Now, I guarantee you, my list is going to be a lot more shallow than Angela's list. But anyway, one of the things certainly about her, and it's funny, that we both came up with Uwu at the top, and I think one thing, the reason why I put it up there is because Angelus and I would get on Den's stream, and he would always try to make the case that Android 18 was the better waifu, and Angelus and I would always say nope, Alita's a better waifu, and so it was just kind of something we could pick at him, a little bit, but anyway, certainly she definitely has the power of Uwu, and anybody that sees my good morning tweet every day, for some folks it's good evening, but this picture of her right here is just about one of my favorite pictures, and I always put on there, that smile slays me, or that smile, knocks me over, or something, because it does. It's she as a character is really captivating, and it's not just her looks either. It's just everything about her, that kind of draws you in, and of course to kind of go along with that. Angelus and I both, believe, and we teased Den about it, is that, Alita is a better waifu. Now, if you see that picture there, that was kind of inspired by Vladi. He had that thing on there about, I think he had Hot Toys. Alita had a gun pointed, at the camera, and it says, marry me or I will kill you, So anyway, I typed in there a reply, okay, no problem. Let's get married. So that's what that thing inspired me, But anyway, to put that picture in there, but that certainly, I think that's when she was with Chaos. I think that she had a kind of weird relationship with Chaos, and I think they actually got married, didn't they? I can't remember now.
No, they didn't.
Oh, they came close though, I guess.
Well, he was losing his shit because she wouldn't marry him, and she would well, actually no, he wanted her to wear the dress, and she didn't want.
Yeah, that's right.
And he lost his shit. I don't know that there was a marriage proposal, like the. So I haven't read the latest translation up to that point,
Yeah.
but the early one, there was no actual "Will you marry me?" kind of statement, I don't think, but it was more
It
implied.
was, yeah. Well, she was definitely not romantically inclined toward Chaos. That's for sure. I think,
Not as immediately as he was, anyway.
yeah, exactly.
If
He
you'd
was,
given it a little time.
yeah, that's right. I mean, yeah, I think she viewed him as kind of a wimp or something, didn't she? I mean, she did see him as somebody that had, some good qualities and, had the right idea about doing right, by people and stuff like that. But I think as a man, I think he didn't do anything for her. I don't think. And this is where the Muskogee Creek actually fell in love with Alita right here. First time I ever saw the movie, when she was all chopped to bits, and just, I mean, just one arm, no legs, no, basically, no midsection, up to a point, still had the drive, to put that hand of hers in his eye, and then came out with that F Your Mercy, I mean, my God, that thing right there, that one scene right there locked me in. I mean, I was already being locked in anyway, by watching the first part of the movie, because I really enjoyed it. Even first time I saw it, I mean, I was just zeroed in on. But this one right here, this was like the nail in the coffin right here. This one got me, is to see that, just to see the fire that she had, and that was kind of a really important moment for me in the movie anyway. So, and then of course, another thing I really like about her, and I told you my list was a lot more shallow than than Angelus's list, but I like the fact that she is athletic. I mean, yeah, she was a second league motorball champion, and then eventually got up to the Zot, and then as the leader or the captain of the Space Angels. I don't want to give it away too much, I guess, for anybody that hadn't read the manga, or the Last Order. But very, just an athletic, individual, so that really is a quality that I really admire in a lot of people, that they have that, that kind of ability, that they can compete, and that they can do extraordinary things, physically, and that, and that they can, they're, strong, all that stuff, fast, and have, great hand-eye coordination, the whole 9 yards. But anyway, the whole athletic thing was something that really also pulled me in. And the fact, yeah, go ahead.
Just quickly on the athletic part, and minor segue on your powerlifting as well, is that when you respect and take care of your physical body,
yes,
you end up looking like that. You're not fat, you're not skinny, you're not like all beefcake Arnold Schwarzenegger, like muscly. Not that there's anything wrong with the Arnie himself, but
yeah.
When you respect and take care of your body, you look like that, and that's what some of us actually find, even, let's face it, that we find sexy.
Yeah.
And hence that's why it's on your list. And see, that's one that even I'd add, that and the F Your Mercy scene. I love that scene as well. Like, I know that, like, there's only like 1 or 2 F-bombs allowed in a PG-13 movie, but it was so well written, so well directed, so well delivered that, it is the cinematic F-bomb
of all time.
standard. It's the benchmark.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Alita does have an advantage on humans. I mean, granted, she's a TR, but I think the thing about her, though, is that, one thing you don't get the idea in the movie that you do get in the manga when you read it is she trained for that motorball, to go in the second league, and it was several months, I think, from what I could garner from the novelization anyway. So it wasn't like, that, oh, I got this body now I'm superhuman. She did train for this, because if you remember when in the movie, when she first got up on those skates, to play motorball, with those kids in the street, she was barely standing up on those skates, and then, as Hugo was helping her to start out with, but boy, she learned fast, didn't she, putting Tanji down. But anyway, she, even though she has that cyborg body, she still thinks enough of herself to train, to do the right thing, because, that to me is a endearing quality of Alita, I think.
Well, to be fair, from a scientific point of view as well, she had muscle memory from her time as a soldier. She had no muscle memory as a motorball competitor, so it's even natural for her to train, even though she's got a cyborg body. It's not the type of cybernetics that you can just sort of, I'll reprogram it and then get my nanotech cells to do its thing and like Bob's your uncle. But it's something that she had to sort of train her mind to flow and keep up with her cybernetic body as well. So there's also that mental aspect of it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Welcome, Kunstler99.
How's it going, guys?
Real good.
How's work?
Yeah. How's it going?
Actually, somewhat productive today.
Oh, cool. You sell some cars?
Well, I don't sell the cars. I sell the stuff after the fact.
Oh, okay. Okay. Nice.
But, yeah. So we have less and less cars every day. Right now, we literally only have enough cars to fit the front parking lots of our space.
Cool.
That's not that great, but
Well, maybe you can just have it like a banner or something. It's like the a victim of our own success. This is what we have left.
Yeah, exactly.
pretty much.
Yeah, F. Nordley you saw that text I put up there. He says he wishes there was 2,000 people watching this, and I think he's referring to the fact that we're bringing out all these good qualities about Alita, and it probably convinced people, to watch the movie, and I think it would, because I think that's one of the things, one of the obstacles or challenges that, Alita Battle Angel has, it's like the going uphill, it's kind of like in that movie Blade where, that Wesley Snipes or Blade says some mothers are always trying to ice skate uphill, So, and that's kind of, you feel like that way about the movie Alita Battle Angel, because it's really a good movie. And people that have taken a long time to see it, we've seen it on Twitter, where they put that tweet out, oh my God, I wish I'd have seen this movie when it came out, and they praised it, and all that. Every time I see that, I retweet it, because it just, to me, just didn't get its due respect, and a matter of fact, I think, Angels, I think maybe you saw this too, and you did too, Maxie, but, it was that one critic, I guess, that he really dissed Alita, and I got the real feeling that he didn't even see the movie, I think that just from what his comments were about it, and I just, that to me is unreal, but anyway.
No, apparently it happens a lot, man. They get told don't put a lot of effort into this. View these 3 scenes and then diss on it. That's the sort of instructions they get, and it's just bullshit. Yeah,
exactly. So,
or essentially watch like these scenes in the movie, and you've pretty much got the gist of it, which isn't correct for starters, but that's what they're told, and that's what they end up believing.
Yeah.
What's nuts is your job's to watch movies and to review them, and you can't even take the time to watch the whole damn movie.
Yeah, that to me is unreal. That is just unreal.
Well, I've spoken at length about the fact that the Academy couldn't tell what was CGI and what wasn't with Alita, and that's why she didn't get any awards, because they thought it was real. And when you can fool people whose business it is to watch movies that this thing that you're watching is real, like, oh, the hair's real. No, actually it's not. Took them 2 years to work that out, and then now we're just starting to get awards for the hair. It's like, you people are hopeless.
Yeah, exactly. And then, not that I have anything against this movie because I've never seen it, but, 1917, I'm sure it's a good movie, but, You know, I mean, to me, just from what little I've seen on it, trailers and, you know, other, you know, kind of segments, you know, on YouTube and stuff, I don't see how that thing got special effects over Alita. I just don't, you know. I mean, I know I'm biased, okay, but I just don't get it, you know, just watching it, you know.
Well,
So,
part of it's the political situation in Hollywood,
Yeah.
in that Rodriguez has been an outsider for a long time. He actually quit the Directors Guild, and he was blackballed for quite a while. So, you know, the moment they see, oh, it's a Rodriguez film, that turns a lot of people in Hollywood off because he's not part of that elite.
yeah,
He doesn't play the game.
yeah.
So that didn't help Alita. I mean, I'm not dissing his ability. He's a very good director, and he did a very good job with the movie. It's just that his political metadata in Hollywood does take the shine off things.
Yeah, it does. Well, anyway,
Then he
getting
makes
back,
a lot of money with the likes of that Netflix movie he made. Oh, We Can Be
Oh, yeah.
Heroes.
yeah,
Makes makes the loudest noise with his episode of Mandalorian, and then it's like, here, have an entire series. But yeah,
You know, that's a good point, Angelus. You know, to direct an episode like that, you know, a Star Wars, you know, type of universe, you know, episode like that in a successful series on 2 days' notice, practically, or maybe it was 3 or whatever it was, but it was very short notice, and he did an outstanding job. You know, I mean, it was, you know, it was kind of awesome, really. Okay,
yes.
anyway, getting back to the points here. Kind of goes back to what you were saying there, Angelus, about Alita. You know, about, you know, what I just put there was never gives up. In other words, I mean, just perseverance and determination. You know, level 12. You know, out of 10 levels. You know, that's what she is. You know, I mean, she has an objective and she is going to achieve it. You know, and that's kind of the way I see her. You know, as a character. You know, she's. Like I say, never gives up, never surrenders. You know, pardon the quote from from that one. I can't remember the name of that movie now. That kind of a spoof on Star Trek, I think it was. But anyway, yeah, she just keeps on. You know, just relentless. You know, in trying to achieve the objective. You know, so
The movie is Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest. Yeah, thanks for that. You know, I must have had a senior moment. That must have been what it was. So,
I think I have them more and more often.
yeah. So anyway, another thing about her, of course, I like, and then once again, very shallow on the Muskogee Creek's part, but she is incredibly strong. You know, I mean, you know, as a movie character, you know, and you guys have all heard me say this before, but you know, I was able to calculate that she can curl one rep of 800 pounds, and that may be a minimum. I just don't know. Just looking at, you know, what she did with that Gatling gun, you know, in the factory, you know, holding that Gatling gun, firing what is essentially a 100 caliber gun, you know, which has got 4 times, each barrel has 4 times the firepower of a 50 caliber. And I don't know if you've ever seen a 50 caliber gun fired or not. It is awesome. You know, it is scary too. You know, you hear that thing, but you know, that gun, you know, in the movie was much bigger, you know, and it would weighed much more than say some of the most devastating Gatling guns, you know, in the military, you know. So, I mean, and she was just able to hold it still. I mean, even though that gun would kick, you know, quite a bit, you saw how steady she was holding that thing for 2 seconds. That takes awesome strength. I mean, there's just, you know, any of the strong men and weightlifters and power lifters and all, you know, if they had her power like that, if she was a real character, you know, if she was alive today as a real person and had that strength, you know, she would have all the records, no doubt about it. But anyway, I know that's pretty shallow.
It'd go from like the transgenders being in sports to total replacement cyborgs being in sports.
Well, that's right. That's probably true. You know that she would probably be disqualified. You know, just because she is a cyborg. Not they'd say, well, you're not a human being. You're a cyborg. You know, so they probably would disqualify her. You know, but it still wouldn't change the fact that if she was alive today, if she was a real person alive today, she'd be the strongest individual on the planet, and nobody would be close. You know. And that include all these strong guys you see on, I'm not going to mention any names, don't want to offend anybody, even on this little stream, but, you know, she would be 5 or 6 times stronger than any of those guys, you know, if she was a real person, that is, you know.
Even stronger than the immortal Creaky.
Oh, yeah, she's a lot stronger than I am. As a matter of fact, that, you know, Cran, you know, she did that little piece of art for me, you know, and I really think it's super duper awesome. Thanks, Jay. I appreciate that. But, you know, the whole premise behind that thing, I wanted her to show Cran to show her, you know, doing that deadlift, you know, with, you know, 620 kilograms, you know, and like it was nothing. And I think, Maxie, you said she was just warming up, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, and that's probably would be true. You know, because I mean, I was able to calculate in her case that she could bench press 3,200 pounds. You know, so I mean that if you can bench press that much, you can deadlift probably 5,000 pounds or something like that. I mean, it's just ridiculous. You know, and of course we have no idea how much that suicide machine, the guts of that thing weighs, but I can't imagine it's light. You know. Another thing I like about Alita, of course, is her courage.
No, you can't, Cran. Sorry.
What is this?
Just responding to.
Oh yeah, Cran, you can't escape us, Cran. The princess of the Alita army cannot escape us. There is no way we got you, Cran. So anyway, getting back to the points here, you know, Alita's courage. I mean, you know, when Garishka showed up at the Kansas bar, she did not hesitate, did she? I mean, you know, a lot of those hunter warriors in that bar, boy, they were backing away, but not her, man. She got right up in his face, you know, and even like say when even when she was chopped to bits, she still had that courage going for you. And yes, Cran, you are a princess of the Alita army. So anyway, next. Another thing that's kind of cool about her is that she's musically talented, you know, and there's that scene in the manga where she's in the Kansas bar, you know, and I think there's been 2 or 3 of those panels, you know, where shows her, you know, singing or, you know, play an instrument like this, you know, so it'd be really, you know, what would be really cool in a sequel. But anyway, what would be super duper cool would be if they had a scene of Alita singing in the sequel, you know, kind of like they did in the manga, you know. To me, I would really enjoy seeing that. You know, it'd be almost like a softer side for her, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if, like, as part of the adaptation, it, like, maybe they got her doing some sort of karaoke scene, because I know that's, you know, that's just big in the Asian / Eastern sort of culture.
Yeah.
They also like singing in general and karaoke specifically, and I mean they still could get her playing an instrument and have that as like a bit of a nod to the manga, but like I always like playing devil's advocate, and it's like, how far away from the manga or the anime can they get but still pay respects? And I think, you know, that like at least having one karaoke scene, that'd be pretty sick. I'd love it.
Oh yeah, it would. It'd be great, wouldn't it? Yeah. You know, just the fans, you know, pointed out, you know, Rosa can sing. There's no doubt about it. So I think it'd be a natural fit, personally. You know, I really would. It'd be the coolest thing ever, you know. And last but not least, because the Muskogee Creek is a dog person, you know, I like that. You know, Now, typically I like big dogs, but I mean, I like all dogs really, but that how she is with that little dog, I mean, that is so human, isn't it? I mean, that is one of the things that's really neat about Alita, that, she has that empathy toward, a little animal like this, and just a little stray, that nobody cares about. But she certainly, she certainly identified with that little guy, didn't she?
More human than many of the humans in the movie.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, a lot of those folks didn't pay him any mind except maybe, McTeague, he certainly did, and he was a dog master, of course, I've always thought too, that one of the reasons McTeague went down in the sewer, or went down in the underworld rather with Doc Ito and Hugo was just because of that, because I think he saw that Alita was a dog person and he's a dog person. So he decided to go down there. Plus the fact he saw Grishka kill that dog, so that probably set a fire under his ass, and he decided, well, I'm going to get some, I'm going to get some myself, so I'm not going to let Grishka get away with this, So anyway, that's my take on Alita. Not nearly as in depth, say, as Angelus. I really enjoyed his, but that's kind of how I view her. As a character. Just really, in my mind, just a complete character. If she was a real person, she'd be a complete person. Kutzler, you got any thoughts about why you love Alita so much that you might want to throw in there?
Oh, lots. There's lots, of course. All right, so things that really haven't been touched on. One of the main reasons why I like Alita, or I love the character, is that she's not perfect.
Yeah.
And she comes from a very hard past that she's, depending on where people are at, that she's just starting to figure out. And it's the development and it's how she reacts to what she finds out about herself that is very it's relatable in how she handles it, how it affects her, and what she has to do to overcome it. So that's a big part of it right there for me, of why I like the character, is how she comes out of it, how she goes through it. And another part that I really like about the character is that she makes some pretty big mistakes.
Yeah.
And it really points out how human she is, with the knee-jerk reactions, her pride that causes her to trip up, learning humility, or learning to be disciplined because her arrogance got the best of her and she screwed up and she either lost a fight or got like obliterated in motorball and obviously came back ahead. But so like those are all like those lessons, and how it defines her character in the manga is really that's one of the best parts of why I love Alita as a character. Now I know a lot of people say, "Oh, okay, Alita's waifu." Like,
yeah.
For me, I never looked at it as, "Oh, I would want her." Like, she would be the perfect wife. Like,
no, yeah.
no, for me, because, and I guess as far as her character goes, there was part of me that, of course, she's drawn very attractively in the manga. But there's a part of me that looked past that, and I was just looking at her as far as the character goes. And that's who I wanted to aspire to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Dan used to make that argument that as a waifu, Alita is, now this is Dan talking. Of course, once again, Angelus and I used to rib him a little bit about this, but as a waifu, she doesn't have as much of a motherly and instinct, say like Android 18 does, and that was his argument, or if she was a real person being a wife, she would be far from perfect, and I kind of agree with him on that. I mean, because she does have a lot of problems going on there, and has had to solve a lot, but I kind of agree with you on that one there, Kunstler. I think that's you're spot on there. As a matter of fact, Maxie even brought that up a little bit. That one of the things he liked about her too is that she wasn't perfect.
Yeah. So another thing that I think defines her and why I also like about her is that her imperfections are her strength. So when you look at the Damascus blade, and especially when it's the Balisong style Damascus blade, when you look at how the Japanese culture, especially ancient Japanese culture, viewed like the samurai sword basically contained the spirit of the warrior. And when you look at the like how her character is defined, when they introduced the Damascus blade, she like it personified her.
Yeah.
And the imperfections that she had became her strength.
Yeah, exactly.
And in that essence, her spirit truly was a part of the Damascus blade, and the Damascus blade really defined her. And that's something that I thought one was just beautiful writing.
Oh yeah,
beautiful artistry, and was one of the reasons why I also loved that character and loved that blade.
Yeah, that's a good point, Kunstler, because one of the symbolism there that you can see is that when she points that sword, that Damascus blade up to Zalem at Nova, and that the plasma comes out from her onto the sword. I mean that is a very good image right there. That kind of suggests that this is coming from her. So good point. Looks like Maxie put up our poll that we were talking about a little while ago, and looks like Alita is kicking butt. So that's a good thing.
Nice.
I got my tweet deck set up for that. So I think it tweets every half hour or something like that. If it gets to tweeting too much, the Twitter they'll kind of yeet some of those tweets. They've done that to me before, so I kind of got to watch that frequency a little bit, So. But anyway, you can see we're winning, and this is round 9, so we're a long way into it, so that's cool.
Yeah,
I found it interesting that it's a Rodriguez produced movie versus a Cameron produced movie versus a Cameron directed movie.
Yeah.
It was the same with Alien, so.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's exactly right. Of course, Alita's got the benefit of having an army behind her, so that's a good thing. So,
and it is actually no, I don't call it irony as much as I would call it almost destiny-like, but it just again relinks back into why we love Alita so much, but it doesn't mean that any of those other films are bad. It's just that we simply love Alita that much that we'd even choose it over other favorites of ours. Because at the very least for me, Alien's a favorite. T2 is a favorite.
Oh yeah.
I went to see the Titanic 3 times, twice with an ex of mine, whom I'm still good friends with, and it's like, well, again, that's another Cameron directed film, and it even that still doesn't measure up to Alita for me, anyway.
Yeah. I never watched Titanic, because that's I guess that that's the profession I'm in is like disaster recovery, and I'm not. I have enough of that all day, so I don't really need to see a movie about it. I remember seeing
movie about work.
Yeah, I remember seeing that movie, The Poseidon Adventure, many years ago, and after you watched that movie, you felt like you'd been through a war, So, but and of course, now that I do what I do now as a profession, I really don't want to see a disaster film. It's just really, really too much. Now, I will say this. Here's how much Alita has got me hooked. If Alita was in a disaster film, like when they go to part of this stuff out in the bar jack, out in she meets den, and she goes out to the Badlands, and a lot of that's disaster oriented stuff. I guess I'll be okay with that, at that point. So
yeah, I guess you'd be desensitized to the disaster relief that going to see a movie to escape from work,
yes,
and all you see is more work. It defeats the purpose.
yeah, exactly. Anyway, Jay, a nice days out there, and Jay, you can come on here if you want, because I know you got some pretty good opinions about Alita. We'd just love to hear them if you want to come on. So,
and Cran, but I
and
know
Cran, if Cran wants to come on,
I know she'll be busy.
Yeah, I think she was drawing something, so I'm not sure about that. So.
It's either that or Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah, that's right. She may be doing that. That's right. Or she may be doing one of those. Did she do dungeons? I can't remember.
That's what they call them. Yeah.
I think she said that she had some drawing to
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Speaking of cyborgs.
Yeah. I'm not familiar with this guy.
Robert Kopp.
Yeah.
What?
the furniture of law enforcement. I will be back.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I want to touch him though. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
By back you mean reclined?
Yeah.
You get it? Reclined?
Yes.
Furniture?
Yes.
Dad joke.
Yeah. Okay, well, anybody in the chat wants to come on certainly can, that's watching. But if you want, put it in the chat what you like about Alita or what you love about Alita. And there's some suggestion. You've heard us all say this. I mean, yeah, we think she's cute. There's no doubt about that. She is a great character. There's no doubt about it. And you've heard Angelus and Maxie and Kunstler and I all kind of attest to her determination and perseverance, and of course that kindness, that little dog, and that kind of thing. So she's got a lot of these really positive traits, and she's got some pretty good physical traits too, fighting skill, strength, that whole thing. But I think that some time ago, I think this was maybe a month or two ago, we had John Hoots on here, and he said he thought, I think we were comparing her to some superheroes, and of course we were talking about their abilities and that stuff. But he said the thing that for him that made Alita her biggest quote superpower, if you can think of it, although she is not a superhero, but what he thought was her biggest and best quality in this area was being human. She was so in touch, even though she's 99% cyborg or machine, or system or whatever you want to call it. She was totally in touch with her human side, So, and he said that he thought that made her, that was her most powerful quality. And I kind of agree with him, because, it's like kind of like what Hugo said. Of course, I don't like Hugo, but I've seen better characters, and I guess it's because of what he was doing in the movie. But the thing about when she asked him, does it bother you that I'm not entirely human? And he said, "You're the most human person I've ever met." And that kind of sums it up, doesn't it? I mean, in terms of her as a human being, she's a cyborg, but she's also a human being. Any thoughts about that? Anybody in the chat? Yeah. Go ahead, Angelus.
One thing I will say about Hugo is that I think the reason why I actually even like him is because he fucks up the exact same way I do. and I'm sure in some way, shape, or form he screws up just as much, just like anyone else in the Alita army.
So what you're telling us is that he eats pineapple on pizza too.
Yeah, I don't know. We didn't see him eat pineapple pizza in the movie.
Well, there's a meme where he mentioned a pizza place that doesn't serve pineapple on pizza, and you just saw Lita's face go from happy to sour.
Yeah,
Like, what? Get away from me.
Oh, you made that one, huh?
Pineapple anarchist. No, but I retweeted a lot. I've got it saved on my phone, on my PC. Easy access. Bam.
Yeah. Dizzy. Her hair
What
is
did
her
he
greatest, her hair is her greatest trait.
I do love her hair, yes. I mean,
Yeah, well, I do too, you know. You know, there are a lot of those pictures of her with long hair, you know, but I actually like her with short hair better, I think.
Probably more combat efficient too.
Yeah, that's for sure, because of really long hair, you know, people can grab hold of it, I guess, you know. So,
Although one character used it as a weapon.
yeah.
Like a whip.
Dizzy's got a good point. Since Alita likes oranges, she probably does like pineapple. That's a good point, Diz.
Yeah, but she knows where to eat it.
Yes. Yes. I did.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So the one thing that I think can be very relatable about the character too is, and again, I know that I said that she came from like a dark past, but I think when you really look at it though, you can see like it's not just, oh, it was a rough past, but like even from a psychological perspective, you can see like the trauma, like just where she came from, like and obviously we're starting to see it in Mars Chronicles.
Yeah,
we're starting to see like the terrible environment and kind of how. And again, I Kashira is a very smart writer, and I know that there's some stuff that just seems fun, but like he goes so in depth on everything that at some point I'm sure he also knows that he's setting up that like this is traumatic experiences that lead to the decisions that she made in being like a pretty much almost like a child soldier, like because that's pretty much what it was, you know, with her training as a kid and being like into this military type environment, even though it was kind of more like a black ops covert thing.
Yeah.
And again, we don't see all of it yet. We don't see the whole picture. We only know from what we know from Last Order with the people she ran into and kind of what led up to the very end of her time with that. So but like that's one thing that I think so very much of how her character is defined is again the like there's trauma, and there's a lot of people, that myself included, that have had those really traumatic events in life. And I like, and another reason why I love Alita is that I've pulled my strength from the inspiration of what I've seen her overcome, even as a fictional character, into, you know, being like, you know what, it's let me kind of pull myself up from my bootstraps to keep moving and not stay in this like this downward spiral in my mind, you know. It's pulling me out of dark places because I've seen her pull herself out of dark places.
Yeah, she very much, that is her life experience, isn't it? I mean, from the fact that her parents were killed, and you know, and those I guess those guys, those were they from the Earth Defense Force or whatever, and when they tried to make her and Erica walk across that minefield, you know, before before Gelda got a hold of them. So yeah, she very much, and there's a couple of scenes, to your point, Kunstler, that she actually looks like she had a couple of episodes there of PTSD, didn't she?
Well, I think, I mean, PTSD is I mean, there's specific instances where you can be like, oh, wow, that's what it is. But PTSD is a very dealing with it on a daily basis
Yeah.
is like, it's not obvious to everybody.
Yeah.
You know, so, and that's one of those things where I think, you know, from when she was found in the scrapyard was kind of a reset, and she, like, as things come to fruition in her memory, like, it starts almost coming back. You know, and like, for example, when she was fighting against Karula, like, and that whole sense of, I felt like I've fought her before, like,
Yeah.
even that in and of itself was PTSD.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that
That's
was
right.
like, oh crap, she, you know, she remembered it, muscle memory, and it caused her to have this reaction to the point where she literally was frozen in
Yeah.
like terror. And if it wasn't for that PTSD, like her being stuck, like, she would have been killed, you know?
Yeah.
So like, that's a perfect example right there of that trauma causing like a reaction, you know? So it's, again, she was very smart. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's just really cool to see it done in such a way where I'm like, I've felt those things, not obviously not in life and death circumstances, but you know, you might feel like it's life and death circumstances at the time because of your anxiety or whatever's
Sure.
going through your head at the time.
Yeah.
But
Sure.
it's again, it's so relatable, especially if it's something that you've dealt with and you struggled with, you know.
Yeah. Exactly. It's almost like super stress that's with you all the time. So yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or it's, you know, something you try to just bury and forget, and then something comes up and it becomes this like anxiety attack, just,
Yeah.
and it almost becomes explosive, but it's like in your brain, like your brain just your brain just goes to crap because it's like someone just scrambled it, and you either freeze, or it's basically it's the instantaneous flight or flight, but for no damn reason, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, and to your point too, you know, is the fact that she froze like that. You know, I mean, that is a definite manifestation of it. You know, but you wonder how many of us, you know, now, yeah, granted, Alita is a fictional character. There's no doubt about it. But you think about, you know, her as a character, what she went through. You know, all you got to do is read Marge Chronicle. I mean, I've read three volumes of it. And it's like a, oh my God, you know, type thing, you know, and I'm not even through all of it yet. So,
Yeah.
But you wonder if any of us would go through a set of experiences like that, you know, how we would be faring mentally. Now, granted, to your point, in the scrapyard, Nito rebuilding her and everything, you know, kind of get a reset for her, but she is remembering it. So you kind of wonder if any of us would do as well as she does, you know, with those kind of memories.
It's, and again, this is why I love how deep the manga goes into, is because you know, just with how you can look at it and interpret things, it can go to very, very dark places, and it's how it handles going there and coming out on the other side of those circumstances, where it's not exactly the perfect. It's not like, oh, this is good winning over evil. This is this is the least bad option that happened, or it's she made a mistake and it still sucks.
Yeah.
Like in Last Order, when she was like returning that kid to where he was lost, and she feels terrible afterwards when, like in the Leviathan, the gigantic ship.
Yeah.
She thinks she's doing something good, and then she finds out, no, I did something bad, and then she just goes right to retribution or revenge, and
Yeah.
Sonic punching that helicopter and Colonel Ping.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the stuff where it's okay, that's not good winning over evil. That was a grudge.
Yeah. Exactly.
But it's also very human. I mean,
It is.
there's plenty of times where, like, your supervisor or your one-up supervisor at work. That's what you want to do to them.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's the manifestation of what people would want to do in the knee-jerk reaction, and people hold themselves back on because they don't want to go to jail. You know, but we have those laws.
Yeah.
You know?
By the way, just a fan, I'm not going to tell you that Santa Claus is not real. Well, Alita, when you think about it, I mean, yeah, okay. Yeah, she's a movie character, she's a manga character, an OVA character, whatever. But if she influences your life, that influence on you is very much a real thing. So, I mean,
Like, look at this. I mean, even take it how you like, because my view of what it has been has changed drastically over the years. But take the Bible, okay? Even in there, there's what's called parables. So it's a fictitious example of making a point of like a philosophical point. And you can take these movies and apply it in the same way of, you know what, I learned something from this.
yes.
You know, it's
Allegory.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And I don't care if it's fiction. If it's one of those things where you can identify and see where something could apply to your benefit and other people's benefits, why the heck would it not be a good thing? You know, and why can't it be taken seriously?
For those that don't like big words like me, allegory means a story, poem, or picture that can be interpreted to reveal a hidden meaning, typically a moral or political one, or also known as like a symbol.
Thank you,
Well,
Google Dictionary.
Yeah. Well, I think you guys have heard me say that, one of the things about Alita that I channel is before I before I compete, in a meet, that scene where she's in the locker room with Ito, and how, it's her first tryout for the second league, and she, you would think, that people like that would be super duper nervous and they'd be very, tentative and all that, but she's not. She's just in there. She's, she's kind of happy. She doesn't have her mind on it too much. She's thinking about Hugo, can a human love a cyborg? I mean, that kind of thing. So anyway, but she's really at ease in there, and that kind of right there, I can channel that very well, whenever I, before I do a competition, that I see that, and it's, it does help me. It really does.
Yeah. That's, I mean, again, just there's so many times where she can be lighthearted about things, which is awesome, and be that excitement of being like, waiting to like get out there on the track, like with the whole motorball thing.
Yeah.
Another thing that I really liked about Alita, especially in the manga, and you see it a little bit when she's down in like the underworld in the movie, is the joy that she gets when she's in the throes of combat. Like, and it's something that to her is like, and again, it's not like fun, like, ooh, I'm having a great time, but it's and I don't know if it's the rush or whatever, but like there's that part where she's dodging the hands, like the
grind cutters,
and she's got this smirk on her face before she jumps right back in. So they catch that in the movie, and in the manga it's almost like every freaking fight. It's and like especially when she's starting to go up against like the not Barjack, but the other no, it is Barjack. Where basically they were caught, and it was figure four, and basically it was the scene where she freaks out with the butterfly. But basically her saying that she loves combat, and basically she basically wants to black out and just fight and win. Like that's like what she lives for in that moment. And again, I know that's her being in a dark place, but
Yeah.
that's like her love of combat. And
Yeah.
like I kind of find that to be like your love for like, you know, weightlifting and working out and stuff. And but it's like it's to that level of like excitement for her that if she doesn't have it, it's boring, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about that. I think you might not have been on yet, Kunstler, but we were talking about how she was the happy warrior, because you can see that when she's fight in the movie. You can see it even when she's fighting Growishka, and it's like you mentioned, she's dodging those grind cutters. She actually has a smile on her face. I mean, that's another thing, I mean, she's looking at him and she's got that smile, and it's going, I go, what the hell? I mean, this guy's trying to cut you to bits, and you're smiling at him almost like she's laughing at him almost,
Yeah. And that's where it translates so much better in the manga. But
Yes.
obviously we're not there yet in the movie. Like we're not at that point, because it wasn't until really like her really being in Motorball where you see like just the almost gleeful joy of like ripping into people, especially because
Yeah.
it's sport, and it is awesome. I mean, you see that a little bit like right at the beginning when she's like pointing up to the screen and was like, "What is that?"
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
And she's excited about it. Like and that's another part that I always found cool, especially with me being so huge at the time into martial arts when I was reading the manga. It was really a bonus for me because it really pushed me forward in that too.
Yeah. Dizzy pointed out she wasn't smiling when she was chopped to bits. But
No, she
what?
did not.
She wasn't smiling, but you know what? You could see that look on her face of that determination when she had her whole arm up to her elbow in Growishka's eye. You could see, that she meant business, even though, in her mind at that point, she probably figured she was going to die, but even at that point, she had that seriousness on her face, because she couldn't have known that Hugo and Ito and McTeague were going to come down there and rescue her. There's no way she could have known that, but it's still like, it's just like, well, this is the circumstance I'm in, and I'm just dealing with it,
Yeah. No, and it's especially like they got the her face when like she delivers that line was just
Yes.
perfect, because it was like
Oh,
it wasn't like a painful, it was like an angry like you're gonna get me, I'm gonna get you. Like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna let you get out of here. Like no matter what. And again that was one of my favorite parts that matched so well to the manga, was just that sheer determination and like anger slash just, I mean, I don't want to say hatred, because there wasn't like that element to it
Yeah.
like in the manga, but it was just, I'm taking you down,
I think the word you're looking for is ferocity.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
And, that was brought out a little bit too in the novelization, when she's fighting Growishka, and, he, in the novelization, she'd been cut in a couple of places, not just on the leg, and she was bleeding cyber blood, and her thought was, Growishka was kind of, I got the feeling that she was a little irritated. He kept talking and talking and talking, and her thought was, hurry up, shut up already so I can kill you before I die. It's holy moly. Yeah, she is definitely a happy warrior. There's no doubt about it. Any more thoughts about her, you guys? Well, right here, I think that's what brings it all together for me. I mean, it's Rosa. I mean, gosh, Rosa is Alita and vice versa. I think Angela's pointed that out, when he was telling us what he loved about her. But, to me, I don't know if anybody else could have pulled this off like Rosa did. I mean, she was so into the part, that, you know, it's like during that movie, you know, during those scenes, she was really Alita. She was in it. You know, that was her. You know, so. Well, that's an interesting point that Just a Fan brought up. Yep, she had all those things going for her, Just a Fan. There's no doubt about that.
I love that photo.
What's that, Angelus?
Oh, just getting lost in staring at Rosa.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there was one part in the original series, and it was right before she goes to Nova's lair, and that's where she meets the tuned unit number 2.
Yeah.
Basically, she first knows that she's got a clone, and there's that moment where she's just expecting to be cut by her own blade, like. And for me, I don't identify that as weakness. I identify that also as humanity, like the human part of her, that
Yeah.
she's just so done, and she was like ready for stuff to just be over. You know, like not necessarily in a suicidal way, but just in a way that was, I was bested. I'm just cut me down. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Like she wasn't ready, but she was gonna take it. You know. And like for me, that's another part right there where I can identify with you know, you've tried to the point of exhaustion and you're ready to give up.
Yeah. You know, F. Nordley had a good observation, you know, about a historical character, Joan of Arc. And, you know, he maintains, you know, she was the real life Alita, you know. So, yeah, I can see that, you know. Anybody wants to come on the stream and tell us, you know, what you like about Alita or what you love about Alita, you know, here's the link. Just click on it and you'll be in the stream. Yeah, good point.
Reminds me of that scene in what's the movie about the Agent 47 with Rupert Friend, my personal favorite version, where he's like handcuffed to the table and he says to Agent 47, "You're trapped in a room and I'm here with your gun," or something. And he says, "No, you're trapped in a room with me and you just brought me my gun," and then proceeds to do his thing.
Yeah, that's similar to that scene in Watchmen, you know, when Jackie Earl Haley's character, Rorschach, you know, they capture him, put him in prison, you know, and he said, you know, and he kind of spilled all that hot grease over that one guy that was trying to jam a shiv in him, you know, and he says, "You guys don't seem to understand. I'm not in here with you. You're in here with me." So, you know, that was a pretty neat scene right there. You know, Jackie Earl Haley's great. I loved him too in Alita. You know, I mean, he really nailed that thing with Grishka, didn't he? Certainly did.
You know, and I have a feeling that if they went there with his past, like in the manga, he would have been the perfect actor to carry that out.
Yes.
I kind of am sad that they didn't, because again, like especially like then, just how she connects with her opponents, and her enemies, and how she ends up relating to them and being like, if things weren't that different, I'd be, you know, we're kind of the same a little bit, like not exactly, but there's a lot of similarities there.
Yeah, we might be friends instead of enemies. Yeah, exactly.
You know, so, or, you know, a couple other missteps and I'd be doing what you're doing, you know?
Yeah.
So, but Jackie Earle Haley would have nailed that.
Yes. Yeah, he would have. Yeah, he's great. I've liked him in other stuff he's been in. He was in a Oh gosh, it was a superhero movie. Now I can't remember it. Oh, I shouldn't even thought about it, I guess. So, but anyway, there was another observation too about Grishka. One of the reasons they didn't go into his backstory that much, because of course they're trying to develop Alita. But that would have been another interesting. That'd have been another interesting story, wouldn't it? If they had gone into how Grishka got to where he was. He was, well, at least in the novelization, he was a motorball champion. And I'm not sure, was that in the prequel novelization too, Maxie? I think it was, but I've never read that. But
Sorry, what was the question?
that Grishka was a motorball champion.
So Grishka's backstory is a bit different in the movie verse to the manga verse. In the manga, he was actually a combat arena champion who then became a brain addict, which I have a little bit of trouble with because the endorphins that he craves would probably get broken down by stomach acids, so couldn't really absorb them by eating them anyway. Except a cybernetic stomach might work a bit differently, so maybe he could, but certainly a human stomach wouldn't be able to do it. But that aside, because motorball was a big thing all through the movie, it was like the soccer of the time in the movie. They changed him from being an arena champion to a motorball champion. And apparently he lost his shit during his last motorball game and just started killing people indiscriminately and sort of raged off out of the stadium. And he was on track to being final champion, and he screwed it up.
JS says, "Don't ruin the story with science."
My apologies.
Yeah, Jay, why don't you come on here, man? Tell us why you like Alita.
Now, if you think about it, though, Nova did design his body, so he could have specifically engineered it to extract endorphins from brain matter.
Yeah, he could have done that. Yeah, he could have.
Just saying.
Okay, here's one that okay, in other words, every time, somebody that she is accused or presented as something she isn't, and she's presented with an opponent that is like that, and she has to prove she's not. That's a good point,
Do you think she, I mean, if she knows that part of her is like that, she has well, there are many ways of saying it, but the nice way of saying it is that she has the courage to accept that part of about herself and still have the courage and determination to improve upon it. That makes sense. Like, I mean, she did some pretty evil things. When she was meant to, like, in her mission that got her to the scrapyard. We all know that. I try not to spoil it in that respect. But as she's recalling her memories, it's like, wow, I did that. I mean, I did that in the past, but that's not who I am now. She has the courage to accept it, but still want to improve.
That's right. Do better by it, or
choose to do so.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I don't know if she's trying to redeem herself, but I would say you're right. I think she realizes that wasn't a good thing, and I'm going to do better, or something like that. Okay, what do we got here?
It's test footage of Alita singing at the Kansas Spa.
Oh, really? Yeah, I like that one where she's singing. Where she's singing, "Don't you wish your boyfriend was hot like me? Don't you wish your boyfriend was a freak like me?"
think.
I like that one.
Yeah, I won't go any further. Otherwise, I'd really be standing her hard. But
Can you? Could you not get the sound on that, Maxie?
Didn't it come through?
No.
Oh God, I could hear it. I thought
Yeah,
this
when
thing-
you hit share, I think you gotta hit. There's a little checkbox down there. You gotta hit share audio before you actually share. So if you want to put it back up there, hopefully it won't get deleted.
I don't think so. Look for the share audio checkbox in the next one. I don't see it there anymore.
Okay, there it is. No, we can't hear it. Yeah, we can't hear it, Maxie.
Annoyment.
Yeah.
No, it'll only share audio if it's the entire screen, and my screen's like stupidly wide. So
Oh, okay. Okay.
it buggers up. That's annoying. I wonder why they did it like that. Oh, anyway.
Yeah. You know, one neat thing about Rosa too that I really, really like is that she actually trained in the martial arts, you know, for 6 months before she shot that. And she actually, I don't know if she learned how to skate. She probably knew how to skate already, but she practiced it, you know, so she could, you know, portray, you know, an actual, you know, or realistic, you know, being able to skate, you know, being able to fight, you know, that kind of stuff. And that's another thing. That's dedication right there. That's pretty cool, I think. Yeah, just a fan. We don't do the we don't do the Picard data thing here, so sorry about that. You know, so but
we need to deep fake a leader into there somehow.
Yeah, yeah, certainly.
who's the what's her name? The chick that like psycho babble the crew. Counselor Troy, that's the one.
Oh yeah,
You could have her
Yeah.
leader like sort of imposed over Counselor Troy, and you'd probably get away with it.
Yeah, Counselor Troy. She's a empath I'm not sure. Yeah, she's an empath. She's not a telepath. So
yeah,
she senses people's emotions.
yeah, exactly. Kind of like what's the being in Guardians of the Galaxy? Mantis. Yeah, does the same thing, I guess. Okay, guys. Any other thing about Rosa? You know, I mean,
no, I mean, you know, even if we tried to be as objective as possible, you just can't get around the fact that Rosa is a leader. A leader can't be played by anyone but Rosa. Well, I mean, she can, but no one will really ever quite measure up.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's
yeah, there was a oh, go ahead.
like, yeah, as objective as we try to be, it's just fact. I feel anyway. Yeah, there's no other way of putting it except bluntly.
Well, you know, I think Rosa really appreciates us too in the Alita Army. I saw, you know, a post she did on Facebook that said she really loved her fans. You know, so that's a cool thing. You know, that she knows who we are and she cares about us. So that's a neat thing, I think. Okay, I can't think of anything else to to say here on this one. So, except to say she sure is pretty. That's I got to say it. There's no doubt about that. So
I think just based on what we see on social media, primarily Instagram, is kind of her main source. I'd say she just, I don't know. She doesn't seem like she's super full of herself like some people are in Hollywood.
Yeah.
She still seems like she's a relatively normal person that hasn't been totally, poisoned by society yet. So
yeah.
That's just kind of how I see it. Seems like she's got like a
exactly.
normal living space. She apparently drives a Toyota, but it's not like she's like living this super ultra plush lifestyle. But she seems like a relatively normal person. So
yeah, she does.
Still very relatable in that sense.
Yeah, she does. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, I agree with F. Nordley. She's definitely a knockout. There's no doubt about that. So. Okay, guys, I can't think of anything else except wow, Rose is pretty, and I'm gonna get off this before. So anyway, as I always do, why is this image here? Well, it's here because I like it, and of course, to paraphrase Gruishka, I'm only here for our girl and the elite army. So there we go. Maxie or Angelus, either one of you, which one are you guys gonna host tomorrow?
Me.
Okay.
Maxie's getting.
Yep. I've been wifed.
Oh, he's getting wifed. Okay. Well, been there, done that a couple of times. But yeah, I saw. We put together the. Well, let me go ahead and because I think we've changed this, haven't we? Because I definitely originally we put this up, but have we changed what the subject or the topic of the main topic?
Yeah, so it's not an art stream because basically the artists that we were having on haven't had a chance to make anything new for Alita art. So it's just going to be a Chat's Choice stream.
Okay.
We'll go through the news. We'll go through news. Angelus will go through news because I won't be there. But it'll be news and then topics that chat comes up with the stream panel will discuss. So it's up to you guys. Come along with your ideas.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I won't be on it. So, Now, Tony's going to manage that tomorrow, right?
As far as I'm aware.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be there anyway, just in case. But now I think he's going to be out of town next weekend, so I'll do that. I'll do that stream. So, so anyway, if the topics are coming out of the chat, that's going to be pretty interesting, I think.
Well, we haven't tried it before,
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And it's not going to be a bad thing if the stream only goes for like an hour or maybe half an hour after the news sort of thing, and it only ends up being like an hour and a half long or something like that. Then, there's nothing wrong with it either.
Yeah.
Only an hour and a half long.
I mean, I think like even on a content dry topic, if we wanted to, we could stretch it. As long as we needed it to, but it doesn't mean that we have to.
Yeah.
Did you see Justifine's comment just then? My goodness.
Which one now?
But without a core topic, it'll only be like 3 hours long. How are you going to make up those 20 minutes?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's right.
Well, maybe we'll forgo those 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Without me, there you should be saving at least half an hour.
That's 20 minutes of Final Fantasy 14, right, Cran?
Yeah. And you certainly don't want the Creek to put together any more presentations because it'll be 4 hours if it does that. So anyway, that'll be a fun stream, I think, and I guess, I haven't looked at the show notes yet. I guess I got to do that. Of course, have you put the show notes up yet, Angelus, or what?
No, not yet. I'll probably do that later on
Oh, that's okay. Yeah.
because I'm sort of like I remember how to do it, but I have a feeling I'll probably still screw something up somewhere along the lines.
Well, if you need me to help you, I'm willing to do that.
The first step is to duplicate, then you have a backup.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, guys. Well, I can't really think of anything else to chat about. So, oh wow, 2 hours. That 2 hours went by fast, actually. So I guess talking about our girl is gonna make it fly, isn't it?
For sure.
Yep.
Cool. So I guess like we always do, unless you guys got any last thoughts, about about Alita, why we love her, anything, bring them up. Otherwise, we'll bring the old stream to a close, I guess.
I'd just like to say that the Alita army takes on some of the personal traits of Alita, which is perseverance and camaraderie and, just being good people. I mean, people make mistakes, but in general, the Alita army is a good bunch of folks, and that's what keeps me here, and I hope it stays that way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the thing I've noticed about the Alita Army when I first joined, even to this day, is that it's kind of, and I think Cran and Rido and I have talked about this some too, is that it's kind of like a family, an extended family, So, and that part of it's pretty cool, I think. We got a variant of a big diversity of opinions, and that kind of thing, and it's we all stay focused on the on trying to get that sequel. And for me, I want more in a sequel. Of course, you guys, I'm not going to bore you with what I want. I want it all. But anyway,
I want it all.
that's right. Exactly.
I want it all.
Yes.
Sorry.
Cream. Yeah, not Cream. That was Freddie Mercury. Yeah. Exactly.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah. That's right.
And I want it now.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. That's it.
That's the Alita Army anthem, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, Alita Army, one of my Facebook friends there, he says, long live the legendary Battle Angel Alita. Yes, sir. I agree. Or as I like to say in the Southern accent, yes, sir. Okay, guys. So anyway, I guess I'll bring the stream to a close. And like we always do, at the end of every even at the end of the big stream and the end of the stream here, we always round it up, I guess, with a call to action. And on my count of 3, 1, 2, 3.
Bye,
Bye,
Blu-ray, baby.
Blu-ray, baby.